Welcome back to another episode of The Natty Teacher. I am your host, of course, The Natty Teacher. Now today, we got our leg B session. So leg B is probably, I would say one of my favorite workouts. They're all my favorites, man. I was going to say probably one of my favorites. It is one of my favorites. All of them are right now. I love my training right now. Really into it. With the hamstring and glute workout like today, I would say that the main focus, we do have a couple heavier lifts, of course, in there. But the main focus, what I have noticed, tell me if I'm wrong here, but what I have noticed with things like the hamstrings and glutes in particular is that these are muscle groups that require a lot, and not to say that others don't, but these muscle groups in particular, I don't know if it's because the size or specificity of these muscles or what have you, they require a lot of that mind-muscle connection. They really do. To really lock in and take other muscle groups out of the hamstrings and glutes, just like with any other muscle group, I get it. But these ones in particular for me, to really lock in and take other muscle groups out of the hamstrings and glutes, you gotta really be into it. You gotta really be zoned in. So I really enjoy this workout because it's definitely not all about the weight. Yeah, I've made it all about the weight in the past, and I've noticed I've just kind of, crapped the bed with that one where I take away from the actual training because I'm so worried about the weight, okay? So it's really not all about the weight. We're not going to make it all about the weight. We are going to make it all about the squeeze and the contraction, and progressively get stronger from there. Of course, you got to be intense. You got to have that intensity. You got to have that. I don't ever want to go into the gym unless it's a deload and just walk in there and do my exercises, and it's like, no, just like, all right, 10, stop. You know what I mean? No. Like, I want to go. If I got more than 10 in the tank, I'm going to do more than 10. If I don't, I'm not gonna. But if I do, I'm going to keep going. Bodybuilding is simple. I'll tell you, it is. It really is, man. People overcomplicate that stuff. Like, if failure is 10 reps for you, let's just say we're just throwing out a round number. Let's say you're doing a set of, I don't know, anything. We're doing hamstring and glutes today. We'll say hamstring curls. And you hit 10, and you know for a fact, you just know. You know that if I push as hard as I possibly can right now, I'm not going to be able to get another clean rep. Okay, stop. But if you're at 10 and you're like, I got 5 more in the tank, and you stop, you're leaving something in the tank. And in some cases that's okay, but for the most part, man, do 5 more reps. Like I said, people overcomplicate bodybuilding. Dude, you just got to challenge yourself. The body doesn't know weight. Of course it does to an extent. 1,000 pounds on your back is going to feel a heck of a lot different than 100, sure. But all it's reacting to and it's going into a sort of defense mechanism. Okay, it's like, all right, I gotta utilize these muscle groups to make sure that we balance or control whatever load we have here. Okay, so challenge your body, train to dang near failure as much as you can that you can recover from, and go from there. You know what I mean? And if you have more in the tank, give that more in the tank. I don't know, people. It's just funny to me. I think we live in such a, social media driven world where nowadays people overcomplicate just about everything, man. Just go in there and beat what you did last week with good form and with good intensity. That's it. Like, that's all you got to do. So that's what we're going to do in just a second here. So we're going to start with some adductor, get those inner thighs warmed up, firing, all that, get some good blood in the legs, get all the hips opened, all that kind of fun stuff, man. And then we'll jump into some direct hamstring work and go into some glute work and all that. Dude, you'll see. No surprises, though. It's exercises we've done before. So, top set of adductor, really focusing on that stretch and squeeze, coming at you right about now. All right, first exercise on the docket, we got some adductor machine. Now, what you'll really see here is I'm using a pretty good chunk of the stack, not the whole thing as of yet. After quads, I noticed that my inner thighs and just quads, that front part of the leg in general are pretty dang fatigued. So I'm kind of rebuilding my strength and doing this exercise properly, but we're close. We're almost to the full stack here. So anyways, Adductor machine here, we're doing two working sets here. We're doing one top set. This is the top set that you're seeing right here. Again, you'll see I'm really controlling that weight on the way out, sitting in that stretch position, and then bringing the weight together. I would aim for a top set in that 8 to 12 rep range or so. And then we dropped the weight 20%, and I would aim in that 12 to 20 rep range for that back offset here. Use a little assistance, get that final couple inches, control that retraction. Again, 2 total working sets for this one. Then lying hamstring curls. Now what you'll see is a little bit of a difference. We are coming out of the bottom hard and controlling that retraction on the way down, getting that full stretch. If you watch the feet go all the way down, we are really allowing those hamstrings to lengthen out. This is a phenomenal hamstring building movement when done correctly. Okay, you'll see that every single repetition I do, I'm bringing that pad all the way to the bottom of my boot tie. We're touching that and then coming back down and controlling that retraction. Again, really allowing those hamstrings to lengthen out and get a full stretch, and then get a nice hard contraction at the top. My recommendation, okay, you don't have to follow this, but my recommendation would be to keep these in that relatively high rep range. Okay, this is an exercise where you can create a ton of stimulus with, I don't want to say a super low amount of weight by any means, but with not as much weight as, larger, more compound movements. This is an exercise I like to keep in that 12 to 20 rep range for all 3 of my sets. So what I did here is I picked a weight and I did 3 working sets here. I think the top set was right around 17 or 18 reps, and then did a set of 15 and then a set of, I think, 10 after that. We were pretty fatigued by that third set. But again, 3 working sets here, absolutely phenomenal hamstring builder. Then some of you might bash this form. I actually found this to be unbelievably effective. What we have here is a Smith machine RDL. Now, we're not using a ridiculous amount of weight. We're using 3 plates here. But what you're going to see is what I am picturing, just to kind of cue it for you, is I'm pushing my hips and my knees. I'm trying to push my hips and my knees back, okay? So I want a very slight bend. We're bringing the bar just below the knees here and then coming back up, trying to keep that head and chest up as well and take as much of that lower back out of this movement as we can. I noticed when I would do deeper and deeper stretches, with a barbell or even a Smith machine or whatever, I was using a ton of my lower back. With this one, man, I felt my hamstrings stretch exactly how I wanted them to stretch. And as soon as they got into that fully lengthened, stretched position, that's when I came back up. You can avoid injury. You can still use a pretty good amount of load here. But again, take the ego out. Allow yourself to control the weight on the way down. Sit in that stretch position for a moment and then come back up again, trying to use primarily your hamstrings and glutes to pull that weight back up. 3 working sets here, all within that, I think, 7 to 10 rep range. Then, one of my favorite glute builders, Smith machine hip thrust, okay? Working with 4 plates again here. What we're doing is we did our top set of 7. This one I like to keep in that 6 to 10 rep range as well and sit in that squeezed position at the top. Really squeeze those glutes together hard at the top and allow that weight to be controlled on the way down. Don't just slam it up and slam it down. I see a lot of people, I think, misuse this exercise and load, 10 plates aside and just, herk and jerk the weight around. Slowly build up in the strength, but do it correctly. Sit in that squeeze position at the top and control the weight on the way down. Again, I did 3 working sets here, all within that 6 to 10 rep range. I think it was all sets of 2 sets of 7, 1 set of 6. Okay, so again, 3 working sets of the Smith hip thrust. It's awesome booty builder. Then, speaking of awesome exercises, one of my favorite hamstring and glute exercises, again, when done correctly, a glute hyperextension. Okay, now you'll see if you watch my lower back, man, I am stretching down. Absolutely, we're going to get some lower back work in here, no doubt about it. But there is a way to, quote-unquote, bias the glutes with this exercise. It's a very simple cue, actually. What I'll do when I'm in that stretch position, like when I'm at the bottom, like right about here, what I'll do is I'll picture like I am pulling myself up with my butt cheeks, okay? I'm trying to pinch my butt cheeks together. I'm trying to hold a quarter in between them or something, all right? I'm trying to pinch a quarter in between my butt cheeks, and I'm pulling those cheeks together and squeezing. And you can really feel a great stretch in the hamstrings on the way down, and a great contraction in the glutes at the very top of the movement. So you'll see I kind of sit when I bring the weight up, like right about here. I'll sit there for a second. What I'm doing when I'm sitting there for that moment is I'm squeezing the crap out of my glutes, okay? It is a great exercise for the glutes and hamstrings. Be careful I didn't just jump right in and start using a 45-pound plate right away. I did body weight for a couple weeks, and then, slowly started to add in weight, and now I'm, getting pretty strong in those higher rep ranges. I would recommend, again, 10 to 20 reps for that exercise. 2 working sets there. Then moved on to some abductor. I always get those two mixed up. Abductor work. Now, this is for the kind of upper portion of the outer thigh and even arguably the outer portion of the glute. Okay, but what I'm doing here, and this is what I would recommend, drop the ego. What you'll see is I'm really allowing that weight to fully come to the stretch position. And then when I'm pushing the weight out, I'm sitting in that stretch position. Okay, so I'm actually sitting there and squeezing. I'm picturing the outer portion of my glutes, outer portion of my butt. I'm squeezing those muscles on the side of the leg and on the side of the butt there. So again, burns like a son of a gun, but man, it works great. Now, the only things that were not recorded here, I did do 100 reps of Smith machine calf raises, one large cluster set up until I got 100 reps just with the plate on there with the heels elevated, and then also did 3 working sets of rope crunches. Leg B session complete. 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10, 15 out of 10 workout. Man, it felt great. Connected with the muscle, did exactly what I said I was going to do in the intro to this video. Didn't worry about the weight, but still went heavy where I could. Just made sure that I did proper form, technique, got within the right ranges of motion, all that kind of jazz, all that kind of fun stuff, Felt great. Awesome hamstring and glute pump today. Absolutely no doubt about it. Man, the hamstrings, I'll tell you, they are a muscle group in which when you get a solid pump there, man, you feel it. Thing burns like a son of a gun, man. I'll tell you what. Yeah. So, great day. Do still have my cardio left. I got a half-hour cardio. I may actually utilize an outdoor walk as my form of cardio today. Do a half-hour nice brisk pace walk outside with the wife and the baby. It is pretty nice out here in Michigan right now. Low to mid 70s, a little cloudy, but might be able to get a nice little morning walk in. And then after that, man, we are in full-blown rest mode for the rest of the day today, and then a full rest day tomorrow. Remember, guys, I shouldn't have to say this anymore, and I know I'm kind of taken from Sam Sulik here, but gosh dang, that dude is right about this. And he's not the only one who says this either. There is a plethora of pro bodybuilders and what have you that I've followed for a long time that would recommend the same thing. I get it's the off season. I get it. Do your cardio. I don't care if you're full-blown 6,000 calorie a day bulk mode, whatever. Doesn't matter. Do your cardio, man. Go outside, go for a walk, ride a bike, go on the treadmill, Stairmaster. Whatever it is that isn't going to interfere with your strength training, do it. Do your cardio. 20 minutes a day, 25 minutes, 4 times a week. I don't know what it'll be. But keep that cardio in, man. Keep that cardio in. It's only going to be better for your digestion, only going to be better for your heart health. Everybody wants to look at their, their muscular and tendon and joint health. All that's great, but what about the heart, man? Got to keep that thing pumping strong. Anyways, I will make a rest day vlog tomorrow. Maybe even do a full day of eating since it's kind of updated now, full-blown off-season mode. Yeah. So, if you have any questions or anything that you would like me to speak on in my rest day vlog, I would appreciate if you could drop it down in the comments below. If not, hey, no big deal at all. I do take daily video recommendations. So again, if you ever have a recommendation, please drop it down in the comments. You can follow me along on Reddit at the Natty Teacher Guy 74. You can check it out there. But yeah, also have my own little subreddit just called the Natty Teacher. I post all my videos there as well. So check it out if you would like. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. I know a lot of you already are, which I appreciate. And for today, this episode of Summer School is coming to a close. I am the Natty Teacher, and Summer School, again, just for today, is out. I'll catch y'all on the flippity flop.